Hey Wastelanders, this is Gary from The Last Ranger, and I was thinking to myself the other day, I was wanting to do an open tag. I don't know if it will make a good successful open tag, but I wanted to know everyone's favorite opening method. You could list your top 3 opening methods or just one. I want to know what opening method you guys, my Wastelanders, the people that view my channel, and I want to know what some other knife commenters, reviewers, fans that are on YouTube. I want to know what your favorite opening method is. Not lock up, not a knife that has multiple openings. Which preferred opening method that do you like the most? Do you buy knives particularly if they have this opening method? So I'm gonna start out probably with some traditional opening methods. The two-handed opening. I don't think opening a knife always has to be with one hand. For instance, I like this knife. This is a traditional knife that I don't think I could use it. I don't think I could open it one-handed. I can't. So I open it two-handed, and I like it. So let's show you another knife that you can open two-handed. So this is the Open L number 8, and it requires a 2-step process to unlock it and then draw the blade out. 3 steps. You have to relock it. So that's a traditional type opening method, and I like that. I don't think, not everything. Knives are tools, so opening them, sometimes you can use 2 hands. So, and this is kind of like the same method. Probably some people could finger flick the fuller. I can't. It's very strong detent, but I can pinch grip it out and then roll it out. So this is kind of like a one-hand method. It's a different one-hand method, and I don't think, maybe there's a term for it, but I call it the pinch grip. Roll it out with the thumb. Some knives you can roll out with the thumb. You don't have to pinch grip them. Anything with a thumb stud or a finger hole or something. But this knife, you just have to pinch grip it and roll it out. So yeah, that's another opening method. And let me see. This is back to two-handed grip, two-handed knife opening method. It has a small fuller. It resembles a nail nick. You have to get it in there and you have to open it. This is one of my favorite knives, the Phasma Free. I really love this knife, and I prefer the non-thumb stud version of this knife. I prefer opening it with 2 hands. So let's show you some others. I don't want to make this a super long video. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to show thumb studs next. So this is the thumb stud opener, the CEO, or CRKT CEO. So this is a tricky thumb stud flippener. It took a while for me to get this one right. Get the angle just right, and for some reason I can't fail it now, but when I first got it, I had the hardest time opening it. And I remember David C. Anderson did a video on how to open this knife. to teach people how to open this knife. And I have already figured it out then, but it was kind of interesting. Other people had trouble flipping this knife open. So this is an example of a thumb stud flipper, and so I'll give you a better example of a thumb stud flipper. Yeah, so this is a thumb stud flipper. Don't pay attention to the axis lock. I'll talk about that later. But this is a thumb stud flicker mainly. It's no flipper tab. This is a example of a thumb stud flipper that's super easy to flip out. There's not much tension on the opening of this knife. There's just enough tension to make a really great detent, but it will never hurt your thumb to flip it out. We'll address this knife a little bit later, or this option a little bit later. I'm going to show you another thumb stud flipper. This is a thumb stud flipper. You may have seen this QSP Hawk in my earlier video for today, but I like this thumb stud flipper. I like this knife. This knife is the perfect thumb stud flipper. I mean, you practically can't fail it. It's just superb. Okay, let's address thumb stud flippers. You may have seen this knife earlier too. This is a QSP Osprey. So you can, there's the only method to open this knife is the thumb stud. So maybe you prefer a thumb stud, or not thumb stud, a flipper tab. I always say thumb stud, I meant flipper tab. Flipper tab. So, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys preferred a flipper tab, but before I started this channel, I preferred a flipper tab. I would poo-poo knives that only had a thumb stud. I don't do that anymore. I've came around. So, but used to be, I just liked thumb studs or flippers. This knife has a flipper tab and a thumb stud, but I prefer to open this knife with a thumb stud. The Benchmade Mini Loco, and I always open it with a thumb stud, or the thumb hole, spidey hole, whatever you want to call it. So let's see. So let's show you some other spidey hole knives. This has 3 methods on it: a top flipper, thumb stud or thumb flipper, flipper tab, and a spidey hole. But I always open this knife with a spidey hole. That's, for me, I think that's what it was designed for. You could use the flipper tab. If the flipper tab, if you don't get your finger out of the way, it will hit your finger. So that's preferably why I like this spidey hole. So, and I'll give you another flipper tab. Oh, and my newest favorite knife that it's got a rattle, if you can hear it. I don't know what's rattling, but something, I've been mistreating it, and something has got a rattle. So it's a thumb stud flipper, or a spidey hole flicker. But you'll notice this this rooster comb, I don't know what you call it. You can top flip this knife. Oh, I don't prefer the top flippers. I wish the top flippers would just silently go away. I don't know what designer came up with a top flipper, but it's the most absurd way to open the knife, if you ask me. And I'm just a collector. I'm not a professional knife reviewer. I just don't prefer this method of opening a knife. It's just odd. It could be I have arthritis in my hand, and to get the thumb over there, it's semi painful. So I don't really like that method. So thank God it has a spidey hole. So I'll give you another top flipper. Thank goodness it's a little bit easier to flip this knife. This is the most, up until I got this knife, I really hated top flippers, but when I got this QSP Gannett, it was the easiest one to engage. So maybe you like top flippers. So this is a spidey hole. You can only thumb flip it out or spidey flick it out. I prefer spidey flicking. If it has a hole, I will spidey flick it out. It has a thumb stud. I'll open it with a thumb stud, or sometimes if it had a thumb stud on the other side, I will reverse flick it. Maybe that's where they call the reverse flicking. Reverse flicking to me is like turning it upside down and flicking it out. So I brought this knife out because maybe, let me crank the camera up again. So maybe you like a knife that has a great detent. You can still flick it out and it doesn't fall out. But maybe you like a knife that you can. Yeah, I have to get my hand away from the camera. Maybe you like a knife that you can shake out. Basically, you can pull out your pocket and shake it out. Maybe you like that type of opening method. I don't know if that's an opening method at all. I have 3 other methods, and I can't demonstrate this method, but I'll put a video up there that demonstrated this method when I reviewed this knife. But you can thumb launch it out. But another method is when you're drawing out of your pocket, it works like an Emerson wave. You can catch it on your pants, the seam of your pants or the seam of your pocket, and you could deploy this knife while you pull it out. So if you want to see the video, check it out. But this is another method, and you can shake this one out too. It's a little bit harder than this one, the dagger sting, but okay. Lastly, yeah, this video is getting long. Well, lastly, maybe you like a thumb stud, but you like this method of assisted opening. So this is an assisted opening knife. It's the Kershaw Blur. This is an this was a M4. I think this was a Sprint Run knife. I have many assisted knives, but I when I was looking, I pulled this out because it reminded me of a good assisted version of a knife. So maybe you like assisted. This is another Sprint Run. This is the Random Link, and it's assisted. Believe it or not, it almost seems like it's not assisted, but it is. So this has a thumb stud too, but it's for me, having big fingers, it's hard to get into. So I use the flipper tab. And lastly, I have other examples to show you, but I don't have them around me. So give me 1 second. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the last method of opening a knife. There's probably more, but I couldn't think of any. So an auto. It's not it's like an assisted knife. You just have to press a button. So this is the Kershaw Launch 13. So you have to depress the button to disengage the spring or the lockup, but it has a spring loaded, totally automatic. I don't know what the difference is technically of an assisted knife and auto, but there's not much. They launch out this technically the same way, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. This is another auto that has a safety, so this is a little bit quicker than this Launch 13. This is the Boker. I can't remember. I really can't remember, but it's a Boker that I don't carry that much. But I like how it launches out. You see how fast it is. Let's show you the Launch 13 again. It's pretty fast, but this feels faster. And my Grail knife, my Buck 591 or Paradigm Shift. But anyway, this is the Buck 591, and it has a unique opening method. You have to slide the bolster to the right, and yeah, the bolster snaps closed, but it's still an automatic knife. So I really like this knife, and I prefer, there's a version of it where you slide the bolster, and it's assisted, I believe, but it has the final launching mechanism is the flipper tab. It's why do two steps when you could do one step like this? Anyway, maybe it's a little cheaper. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your favorite method of opening a knife? Like, if I had to give my top three, I would say my top three, with number one being the Spidey hole. Flipping, middle finger flipping. That's my favorite type. My second favorite type, nowadays, this is my favorite types. In the past, flipper tabs was my favorite. But I think my favorite method is a Spidey hole. Next would be, you're gonna kill me if I say this. I like two-handed openings too. I really like two-handed openings. And I didn't mention it because I don't know if it's proper to, it's more of a lockup. I like knives that you can flick out with the axis lock opening. So I didn't want to throw it in there, but if you guys think I should throw it in there, or you want to throw it in there, feel free. That would be my third type of opening method and closing method. So take care, Wastelanders. Let me know what your favorite opening method is. Maybe or three. Take care.